Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Ascension Arc, the show where I take one of my now not so many characters, and I try to build them up to a usable standard to actually have some fun with them in Genshin Impact. Because let's be honest, half of this game is just building characters and doing wacky things, and I enjoy it. This week, or this month, I suppose, we're taking a look at NEFER, the cat lady from Nodcry that I ended up missing twice and getting her weapon instead, and there was a whole mess about it, because I really wanted her, because her design is one of my favorites from Nodcry, and in recent years, in general. There's just such a weird elegance to her design, even though it is very kept to, like, the triangular Sumeru ideas. I just really like it. I don't know. There's something about it that I've been fawning over since the day she was released, and I figured now is a good enough time as any to actually get her built. Now, technically, this is the second week of this challenge, because the first week I did on stream, but I'm going to recap that very quickly for you, because not a whole lot really happened. Oh, I was in camera mode, oopsie daisy. What we did during the stream was we brought NEFER up to level 80, so she is basically ready on that front. We also got her weapon up to 80, which I will be leveling up to 90 most likely, because this thing is absolutely crazy. We started a little bit on her artifact, only really getting one good one, which was this one right here. Of course, she wants Elemental Mastery as one of her main things, as well as crit stats, so this is fantastic. We also got a flower with 47 and 9 crit rate, which is pretty good. The rest of these are just make-do pieces for now. We have a really bad Elemental Mastery one here. We have a really bad Elemental Mastery one there. And the headpiece is entirely. Her talents still do need some work. I would like to bring this up higher, but unfortunately I don't know if I'm going to bring NEFER to 90 or not. But we'll see what we do. Other than that, we also figured out that Mawika's bike can't really fly on the moon. So yeah, NEFER has been built ever so slightly, but we still have a lot of work to do. I figured since today is Sunday, I am actually going to go out and start working on her weapon, because this is one of the things we're going to need. Her weapon is, I really want to talk about her weapon as well, because the damn thing is absolutely insane. We've had a lot of really good catalysts as of late. Oh, we should also point out, by the way, I leveled Llama's weapon during the stream also, because I figured I needed it. You know what, I completely skipped over the fact that we haven't talked about the team at all. We are going to be playing NEFER, Lunar Bloom, or whatever it's called. Honestly, I don't know if it has another name. I'm going to presume it's just Lunar Bloom. I am also playing one of the most premium teams possible for NEFER to give her the best possible conditions, even if most of these characters aren't really built that well. We'll be running Columbina in support using Nocturne's Curtain Call, which of course is just absolutely insane. Lunar reaction damage going up, getting a bunch of energy recharge. Her weapon is just awesome. The main reason, of course, we play this is because of her burst, which transforms things into the lunar domain, which just increases lunar reaction damage. It's really good. Let's not talk about that. Let's give her a level 2. Yay! I really need to level Columbina at some point. It's been a while. Then we are also playing Llama. Llama is absolutely incredible in this team also. Unfortunately, this does mean that our little orbs can't crit, but we have 3 moon sign characters anyway, so that's barely going to matter at all. Talon's looking like this, and on her own weapon, the Nightweaver's looking glass, which gives Elemental Mastery to the party when she's active. And as we all know, NEFER really likes Elemental Mastery, so that's great. Our fill slot for today is going to be filled of Kokomi, because I felt this team desperately needed a healer of some sort, and I figured Kokomi would fit the bill. There are probably a million other options you can play in this type of Bloom team. You could play Baiju if you really wanted to. You could probably play Farina. There's, like, Aino can probably be played also. There's 100 different Hydro options here, but I figured Cocofish can get to shine a little bit, because we haven't really seen Cocofish in a while. I do still need to level Cocofish's talents also. I promised the chat I would do this, so I put a level in Cocofish. Yay! I swear, one day I will finish building Kokomi. Kokomi is also level 80. We'll be running the Thrilling Tales, because let's be honest here, even though attack percent isn't really a main stat for NEFER, it can help out, and that's about as good as I'm gonna get. Then, of course, we have NEFER herself running the Relinquery of Truth, and this thing is absurd. Not only is it a crit damage weapon, meaning it's going to go up to 88% crit damage, it also provides 8% flat crit rate, meaning it is about as good as an additional artifact with 2 rolls into it. Then she also gives herself 80 elemental mastery for 12 seconds when they use an elemental skill, which of course NEFER absolutely loves. And when we deal Lunar Bloom damage, we get 24% additional crit damage. This weapon by itself gives 100% crit damage. Oh my god. And also, when both the Secret of Lies and Moon of Truth effects are active at the same time, the results are increased by 50%. Oh my god. So not only do we then have 120 elemental mastery, we also have 36% crit damage. What the hell is this weapon? This weapon does everything. I don't know what the design art principle was behind that, but holy moly. I've been enjoying playing NEFER a lot, honestly. I'm still not very good at doing so because the whole combo is a little bit weird. But we go Columbina, we press buttons, activate the funny domain, we activate Llama, activate her burst as well. We put down a Coco Fish, and here we go. So all NEFER really wants to do is hold down the charge attack button to get her little blooms to pop on enemies. They kind of turn into, what's it called? They kind of turn into, Hyper Bloom in a way, because you basically consume the Lunar Bloom charges that are on the ground to deal additional damage. So they kind of act like Hyper Bloom does, in that Hyper Bloom seeks out a target and just kind of detonates on them. But NEFER does that by herself. It's actually incredible. But yep, let's see if we can get some oranges. That's not any oranges. Another thing that is just absurd about NEFER is the fact that she carries 2 stacks of her skill at any time. So you can essentially get 6 auto attacks, or charged attacks off, I suppose, within a very short time span. I don't know, there's just something satisfying about it, honestly. But yep, here we go. Ooh, that's way, way better now. Okay, I think we'll do one more and then we'll check. All right, let's see then. Oh, that's a gold too. Okay. Look, I'm liking what it's putting down here. I have no qualms about this. Let's have a quickie look and see if we can bring it up then. That is going to be definitely enough. We can craft all those. And we can craft all these. We are going to ascend her weapon. Alright, let's press that funny ascend button. And we've brought the weapon up to max. I believe I have way more than enough to actually bring this up as well. So boom, there we go. Level 90, Relinquery of Truth. This weapon is absolutely insane. Oh, that's so nice. Looking at talents then, I can't really do anything about this unless I want to bring NEFER up to 90, which, given the fact that she ascends with crit damage, is probably a really good thing to do. But that also means we'd have to spend so long getting these, because I have jack shit for those. I also don't really have any antlers or anything for this, although the rest of these are fairly easy to collect, I suppose. I think we'll hold off on level 90ing NEFER for now. Maybe we'll do it one day. It's one of those, I can't really argue myself doing that. Apparently I don't have any Immaculate Warrants anymore either, which is really funny to me. Most of what we need to do this week is probably just bring up the artifact situation, because the artifact situation for NEFER is so weird. We're basically looking exclusively for Elemental Mastery, which is one of those, you know, either you get it or you don't kind of things. And we also want Elemental Mastery with double crit, which is super bad in terms of farming. The only other thing I would really like to pick up here is a headpiece for NEFER, which is probably going to be crit damage with crit rate as a substat, because that would be very, very good. Currently, she has 713 Elemental Mastery by herself on the bad artifacts. She also gains additional crit, of course, because of this. So we're probably way, way higher. The crit rate she gets is from this set. It gives 30% extra, so we're currently on 60-something. 60 whatever. 69. Ah, nice. Which I feel is more than enough for NEFER, really. Which is why if we get a crit damage headpiece that has crit rate as its substat, we can push that up above 75 with a bit of luck, and that should be perfectly suitable. But yeah. Here we go, I suppose. This domain is also a lot of fun because it's meant to have lunar reactions, so we just get to really pop off. Like, the damage here isn't terrible either. For having fairly bad artifacts, hitting for 70k is not really that bad. You'd be surprised. Anyway, artifact time. Okay, HP is not what I want. Healing bonus is definitely not it. A bad attack one and a bad flower, yay. Physical damage bonus! I'm gonna be honest here. That isn't an awful Eula piece. And that's not even a joke. If that rolls crit rate energy recharge, I'll use that on Eula, why not? A feather that isn't that great and an attack stance that I don't really care for. Hooray. Here we go again, at least is the correct set. Look, Elemental Mastery isn't necessarily something we want to have on our headpiece, because we do still want crit damage, and giving that up is kind of ridiculous. But for the time being, where we don't have anything better, I might consider running that. If it rolls into crit rate a bunch, it might not be half bad. For, again, until we get an actual crit damage headpiece, of course, because that's what we really want. Alright, final one for today. That is a very decent feather on that set, honestly, and healing bonus again, I guess. Right, for the hell of it, since we don't have anything else, let's just try rolling this Elemental Mastery piece, because, again, something needs to fill this slot for now. I'll do one more. If it goes defense again, getting shunted. Energy recharge isn't good either, but whatever. It's more EM for the time being. We'll max it out, see what it goes. Never mind, you're staying exactly where you are, you absolute little shit. Oh, whatever. We'll unlock this, but we'll keep it on for the time being, because again, EM does help. Alright, lastly then, because we can't actually re-roll for this artifact in the strong box, we are instead going to re-roll for Eula's set, because apparently Eula is just never gonna get to be built, because people don't want to see me do funny things with her. So I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna roll for the set pieces here. She uses Pale Flame, which is shocking to nobody. Let's roll some pieces for Eula. We'll re-roll the rest too, see what we can get. Nope. Nope. Crit damage, energy recharge. It's still not good enough to play on Eula to make her do anything. There's a double flower with energy recharge attack. That's pretty good. There's an even better flower, though. Okay. There's an attack with crit damage on it. That's not bad. And an attack with nothing. Okay, okay. We're getting some Eula pieces. That's very cool. That is not great. And that is definitely not great. But look, I am a man of my word. I will roll some Eula pieces. Even though this is not Eula's video. One day she will be built, I swear. Her current flower is actually pretty good. It is double crit. But we did get both of these, which are really good. So I'll roll them and we'll see. Because why not? Wow, you have already failed. That's impressive. That is a crit damage. That is a double crit damage. Okay, 3 into crit damage is kind of cracked. Then again, she does need a lot of crit rate, unfortunately, so I don't know if that is entirely better than this one. I'm still going to keep it as an off-piece flower, just for the hell of it, really. I'll keep this one as well in case it ever shows up to be useful. We have one physical damage thing that we rolled as well from an off-piece set. We actually have 2. This one has crit rate, this one has crit damage. I think we'd want crit rate more than crit damage, hopefully. We'll roll them and see what happens with whatever we have left. Because hey, I can reuse them. Energy recharge is pretty good. Shush NEFER. Oh, HP. HP! That's unfortunately too bad to be used. So, it's going into this one! Yay? Where'd it go? Hello? Where did it... Am I blind? Oh, it's because it's equipped. Oops. I am blind. I'm both blind and stupid. Anyways, let's see for crit damage. Okay! That's not bad at all. That's superb so far. Oh my god, you know what? I'm not complaining about that. Eula can have it. You know what? Eula deserves some love. That is a very good physical damage bonus goblet. Holy crap. I don't even know what you're on at the moment. 77 to 141 isn't terrible either. Oh, she's on Star Silver. Ooh. I don't remember any of this. Oh, this one's hot doo-doo, but whatever. That's really good. This is also really good, apparently. I don't remember rolling this at all. Oh, never mind, I do remember rolling this. It's the 4 crit rate roll for Eula on the attack stands. Right. Never mind, you can keep it, girly. It's all yours. Then we have this feather, which is pretty stinking good, and this flower, which is completely oakley dokily. But holy crap, she almost has a usable set now. She needs a headpiece that doesn't suck. And then we're basically done. Anyway, this isn't a Eula video, but it could have been. Oh, hey, look. The standard banner finally paid out after 500 years. I guess I have another Skyward Pride now. I'm pretty sure I already have one of those, but hey, you know what? That's perfectly fair. It's 2 more wishes for me, and with those wishes, I'm just gonna pump them in here because we need some dopamine at the start of this video. My goodness, there's nothing. And guess what? I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark here, and this is nothing. Wow. Anyways, welcome back to Ascension Arc. I have Sandrone now. Somehow, through pure sheer determination, I guess, I managed to dump enough wishes into the banner to let the game give her to me early. I got her on pity 24 after losing to C7 Mona because that is my curse. But hey, now we have Sandrone. That's great. This video isn't about her. I feel like this video has been a lot of things that is not NEFER. But hey, it is what it is. Today is the final day of our NEFER, and not a lot has really happened since last time. Our artifacts are looking very bleak, unfortunately. We have this very good flower from last time. The feather is still here. We haven't gotten any upgrades other than that. We have Elemental Mastery in every slot at the very least, but we haven't really gotten a piece that really screams, I don't know, useful. So we're kind of stuck dead with what we've got. We've got a set of 5 to, at the very least, do the final sort of wishful thinking here in the domain, and hopefully we get something that's decent. And if we don't, well, that's just how it is sometimes. We're just gonna have to rock that fact and continue on with our lives and leave NEFER in whatever state she's done with. Alright, NEFER, you are at least dealing damage now, which is positive. Though it is less than 100k per kick, which I would have preferred if it wasn't, but it's surely something. Let's get some really good pieces now. Come on. That is a defense. That is unfortunate. Physical damage bonus is also just terrible. A double physical damage bonus goblet. Jeez. It's like it's telling me to play someone that I haven't, you know, played. Attack percent would have been nice. Attack percent doesn't help us here, and neither does that. At least I can kill the damn thing in one combo now. That's kind of nice. Couldn't do that before. Alright, here we go. Bad. Also kind of bad. Also kind of bad. Damn. I guess we are really just kind of stuck with what we've got here. It's not looking great, I must say that. Oh, hey, that's an Elemental Mastery piece with crit damage on the wrong set. That's funny, I guess. I'm gonna keep it because, again, it's an EM piece on the support set, so that's nice. But unfortunately, that isn't an EM piece on the set that we wanted. I don't necessarily know if we can do something about that, because I'm pretty sure I already have I don't have a borrowed one, actually. Never mind, we might be able to use that one. I take it back. I didn't realize that we had access to that. We can actually try for an Elemental Mastery one with double crit, because we have a full set of the rest. That's not bad. This one is obviously the one that we got in this episode, but I do have quite a few other ones, including this one, which is straight up just double crit. We can still get the bonus, and maybe that'll do it better. I'll try for this one first, at least. Let's not beat around the bush here. As normally, I do tend to allow myself to borrow one. That is awful. Attack does not help us. We need the crit stats. For fuck's sake. Okay. A single crit damage roll. Oh, I don't have enough consumables. Let's fix that. Let's just chunk a bunch of these so we get a maxed out one. There we go. Okay, well that is 2 crit damage rolls at least. The attack rolls don't do anything, but 20% crit isn't abhorrent. It's also not very good, but it's something. I could try and roll into this one, but we run the risk of missing 3 of them, which isn't great. We'll let her have this one for the time being, and if I ever get a better piece, I suppose that's what we get. But for the time being, this is what NEFER ends up with. 713 Elemental Mastery is kind of sad. A crit rate of 40% and a crit damage of 254. However, of course, she does get the 30% extra crit rate, so her crit rate is around 69, which is nice. It would have been nicer to get some better artifacts for her final build, honestly, because these 3 main pieces here are not very good. The Flower and Feather are great, but these 3 do need some work later on. I decided not to go any further with this, but to be honest, we may as well at this point, because I want her to at least feel like we've done something useful. So let's just get this up to at least level 6, so we can say that we did. I honestly think that's about as good as we're going to get for NEFER, so we only have one thing left to do, and that is to see how bad this ended up being. Alright, we're at the training dummy. I still don't necessarily know what I am to expect here. Obviously, the Elemental Mastery tracking does not really work. It's not something that the game can keep track of, but it will still keep track of damage and reaction damage and things like this, so we don't have to worry a whole much. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to be very good, but we'll give it a go. I mean, okay, I broke the 60k barrier at the very least. That's nice, even though this is a team that can most definitely go way, way higher than that. I don't know. There's just something here that I'm clearly missing, and I think it's 100% up to how I'm playing this team. Oh, that's the comment log. Oops. Test results. There we go. I do love this screen. This screen is very, very nice. NEFER is obviously doing most of the damage. Columbina is putting in quite a little bit. Llama doesn't do all that much, and Kokomi obviously isn't doing all that much. I don't really know what I could do to change this team up to maybe play a more effective one, but I feel like that DPS is really, really low for NEFER. I should be able to do way better than that. Give me a few minutes, and I'll do some quickie research and see if I can come up with a team that might be able to do slightly better on my account. Okay, so given that I am not very good at this video game, this team is definitely a glass cannon, because I decided to swap out Kokomi for Nahida, simply because I happen to have Nahida's weapon. I don't know if we'll ever get to see Nahida's weapon. Oh, there we go. I do have Nahida's weapon, which means that is a little bit of extra elemental mastery that NEFER might be able to use. And Nahida also powers up blooms, I think, though I will say I'm not entirely sure whether or not her burst actually works with NEFER's type of bloom, but I figured we may as well try it, because if there's, you know, if in a vacuum where you can't get hit by anything, I might be able to do okay with this. So let's find out. Oh my god! 94k? That's like a legitimate team! Holy shit, that's crazy! Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're cooking here. What the fuck happened? Does Elemental Mastery really do that much? I did the combo logging to the test result again. Holy, okay. Look, I'm gonna be real here. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong. Again, we're talking Flynn's team. It's up in 200k, whatever. 94k on a team that is, while very premium, do not get me wrong here, this team has every single 5-star weapon in it. I cannot deny this. But for 3 weeks of work, a Nahida who is not currently fully built, her weapon is still level 60 or 70 or something, Llama who isn't fully built, and Columbina who is better but also not built properly, 94k is extremely good. This might be the best damaging team we've ever had on this show, actually. I should start tracking that. Maybe I'll do that. You know what? Yes, I am in fact going to do that. I'll go back in previous videos for everything that we have a DPS checked, and I'll make a little leaderboard for it. Because genuinely, that's really cool. I do quite like that. That DPS is probably not going to be beaten by anything else. I feel very satisfied here. Let's wrap this thing up. And just like that, NEFER's Ascension Arc comes to a close. I'm going to be honest here, I already expected this one to be pretty good. NEFER has been a really, really good character since her release, and I have been looking forward to finally getting to play her, and while her playstyle is fairly basic, I do really enjoy all the flashiness that goes on with her. All of her attack animations are beautiful. Her double kicks, triple kicks with her clones are great. The burst animation is stellar, even though she looks like she's about to step on me, which is a little bit awkward, but I digress. NEFER is just awesome. She does kind of run into the problem that most of her damage is channeled through lunar reactions, however, so if you're ever up against something where that isn't good, she's gonna start falling off, similar to how Night Soul has fallen off in recent times. She is definitely a character of the expansion, as you can very clearly tell, as she uses most of the most powerful supports of the faction. What am I talking about? The release, the patch, the whatever, not cry, woo. I don't know. There is just something about NEFER's design that really intrigues me, and I absolutely adore what they did with her. She is a very nice touch to the roster, I will say that much. But that is not what we're here for. We are here to talk about the tier list. I have actually done some updating on the tier list itself. I've created a proper tier list now, so it's no longer my playability scale of how often I'll play something. I'll just throw that into the overall rating, with the main goal of Ascension Arc being that I will eventually rate every single character in the game. And by the speed these videos are coming out, I don't think that's going to be feasible, but we'll see what we'll do about that. I am here to just give things a go, right? I also talked about the DPS sort of leaderboard, I guess. I will not feature it in this episode because it still needs some work in the background, but in the next episode, you will have it available so we can sort of compare all the teams we've been playing just for the fun of things. With NEFER, though, I think she is definitely going to place extremely high on the new tier list. I've dropped the weird phonetical names. We're just going from S tier to F tier because that is the easiest thing we can do. NEFER is going into S tier. There is no doubt about it. Alongside Ayato and Alhaitham, which have turned out to be two of my favorite characters that I tend to play on a regular basis, NEFER is definitely one of those that I'm going to pick up and just kind of play. She is very satisfying to pull off. All you have to really do is use her skill and then kick a couple of times, but it always looks satisfying. Her team is very, very sturdy if you're running Kokomi, as we saw, and if you're running Nahida, which is apparently a character I now have to bring up to max level with her weapon, because that did an absolute ton of damage. 91k is not a laughing matter, especially when it's as consistent as it is, because it doesn't require that much skill to actually play. Unfortunately, of course, I played the absolute premium team. Not only one premium team, but two absolute premium teams, which a lot of people might not have access to. I don't entirely know what NEFER can do in a free-to-play team. However, starting in next episode, I am going to try 2 teams every episode if I can, one of which is the most premium team I can possibly build, and one of them being the free-to-play build, to see if there is a massive difference between them, which obviously, yes, there is going to be, but just to kind of compare how big that difference actually is. We'll get there when we get there. I might make a video on just the old characters testing this out as well. We'll see what I end up doing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching me fumble around with NEFER. The vote for the next character has in fact ended, and next time up, we're going to be playing my favorite male character in the game. I absolutely adore Toma, even though he doesn't exactly have a good use these days. There's just something about his very casual demeanor and design that really makes me happy in a way. I can't really describe it, but Toma seems like the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with for no other reason than just kind of chill. And that's my vibe, in case you haven't figured that out by now. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with Toma, however, because he does kind of fall into the, hi, I'm a 4-star character from 7 years ago syndrome. He does have a couple of fairly decent teams, one of which being Burgeoning. Burgeoning is probably, I would say, his best team, because his burst does such a good job on triggering Dendro cores because of how slow it is to apply Pyro. If you build him with full Elemental Mastery, he actually ends up being really, really good at that role, similar to Dea. I might do that, and to do that team, we might be able to pull out Emily, which we've had open a couple of times, but also be able to pull out Kinich, because Kinich happens to be really, really good at doing Burgeoning, since he loves burning in general. I might do that. He's also a fairly good shielder in teams such as Overload, given that he is in fact Pyro. There's a lot of things to explore with Toma, so I'm kind of excited to see where that can go. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember to stay safe out there.